Hi guys, Ryan here with Sigma Survival, and today we're going to be talking about how to abseil or rappel with just a carabiner and obviously a harness of some sort. Hi guys, this is the second edition of the Rappelling series. Stay tuned, it's going to be a good one. Okay, so the kit I'm using today, I'm using a standard climbing harness, a locking carabiner. To rig the ropes, this is a training exercise, it's not real life and death. I am utilising some climbing kits, so I'm using some slings. I'm utilising some quick draws that are for trad climbing and just some non-locking carabiners. Additionally, I've also got a procycler loop here, and that just helps with either abseiling safely or helps with the rigging. The rope itself is dynamic rope. This is for rock climbing specifically. It's got stretch in it basically, which means that if I fall, I don't break my spine, my pelvis because of the shock loading. Okay guys, you don't need all of this kit to do this. This is a training exercise. I'm showing the technique and I'm practicing the technique myself to demonstrate it to yourselves. Because it's a training exercise, I want to do it as safely as possible because rappelling is dangerous. You can do this with just cordage, i.e. a strong enough rope. It doesn't even have to be climbing rope in a life or death situation, although I'd recommend it. And a carabiner, that's all you need, because what you would do is cut a section of this rope that's long enough and you would make a Swiss seat, which we're going to demonstrate in another video. The reason why I've not used a Swiss seat today is just purely for comfort reasons. I know this kit, I know this rig very well. It was ready to go, it was easy to use. The weather's been hit and miss, but I am going to be demonstrating the use of a Swiss seat very soon. Okay guys, so we've just been rained off the side of the mountain. I was using the munter hitch, which is also known as the Italian hitch. This is a great multi-purpose knot for creating friction on the rope, between the rope and the carabiner. Obviously you lock it off. You can abseil yourself down, or you can get somebody else down, or kit from the top to the bottom. The other one that I use, which is much easier, I believe it's a US military method. I found out about it online years ago, is the carabiner wrap. At least that's what I call it. You just wrap the rope around a few times so it's like a snake spiraling up. So I'm going to show you the carabiner wrap first, because this is the easiest method, but generally speaking you're only going to be able to abseil yourself with this method safely, at least. So I'm going to take the carabiner, make sure it's open. There is a locking mechanism on it. This is for when we're in action. When we're rigging the rope, we need it to be able to open. So it's open now. Just clip that on. Okay. Now I take the top end here, I wrap it round the spine, which is this bit, and then look, just clip it in, pull it down a little bit, wrap it round once more, clip it in, and now that's pretty much ready to go. What I would do before that, however, is just clip into my own bit of gear here, to my own harness, lock it off, and that's ready to go. Now I can do this with a Swiss seat or a rigger's belt as well. One thing that all the climbers out there that might be watching this might say, and it's something that everyone needs to be aware of, is that the rope is very close to my harness strap. So that can cause friction that could burn through one or the other, and then you're going down the fast way. So just be aware. I have been doing this today like this, completely safe. You just have to be aware of where the rope is, okay? Okay guys, but one way to make it safer if you do have the means to do this is to take some carabiners. These are non-locking carabiners, but you can use another locking one. You just hook that on, like so, and because it's non-locking, I'm going to put two back to back. So I'll show you that in a moment. So now that's even safer, guys. This is a left-handed rappel. You can just turn it round for a right-handed rappel if you need to. But essentially this is safer now. Okay guys, so now I'm going to show you the munter hitch, or aka the Italian hitch. So this one's a bit more difficult, but it's a bit more functional. As I said, you can help someone else to get down with this. So we're going to make like a Mickey Mouse here. And now the cord is, this side of the cord is on my thumb side. So now what I need to do is get the other side opposite to that, so it's on the back of the rope. I'll fold it in, I'll take these two loops here, clip into them, and then there we have the munter hitch. Then all I've got to do is tie in, lock myself in, yet again on the lefty. As you can see, this part of the rope feeds off to the spine side. If I was to go right-handed, or let's say the carabiner was flipped round so that this side is that side, that could come undone and you could fall to your death. It does happen, guys. So here, there's enough friction to just keep me going. I've been using this method today as well. It's a great method. It's just a bit more complicated to tie on, in my opinion, especially when you're cold and you're under stressful sort of circumstances, in a survival situation, i.e. you might struggle. So that's why I prefer the carabiner wrap, but it's totally up to yourselves. So I've got a bit of a bonus method as well here. I didn't use this one today because of the way the rope was rigged, but if I take my carabiner, and let's say I've got a double wrap, so let's say I've wrapped this around a big tree and I've got two lines that I need to abseil on. This is great because there's more friction, there's more to hold, and there's less burn on your hand, but this isn't always viable. The reason is that sometimes there's just not enough rope. So doubling up halves your rope length, essentially. Anyway, let's get into the knot itself. This is just a double carabiner wrap. So essentially I've hooked it in, I wrap this around the spine just like with the single carabiner wrap, but I only have to go around once this time. If I go around twice, you're just not going to get anywhere, you're not going to move. This here has got plenty of friction. Okay, into myself, wherever that is. Lock that down, and that's it, guys. Like, I can abseil off. So one of the essential things that I've used today is a prusik knot. You can easily make this from paracord, but this is using climbing utility cord. This is specifically designed for abseiling to make it safer. I haven't utilised this today because I used it for the rigging process, but I'm going to show you how it's done, just because it's super useful. But I'm going to do a video more in depth on this knot in particular. So I just take this here and I pull this knot through, and then I do it again, but I make sure that it's dressed so that it's always going on the inside and not the outside. If you can see a close-up of that, you'll know what I mean. And I do that 3 times, and then I just pull this through. Now this is what's called a friction hitch, okay? With this doesn't go anywhere now, but guess what? As soon as the tension's taken off this rope, here, so say I put a loop in this, you normally do it with 2, I can now start to dress that up, and all of a sudden it bites down again. Dress it up, it bites down. So if you're traversing up something like you can see behind me, and there's a rope in place, and you've got a group of people, let's say I was with a group of survivors and we had a rope and we had some paracord, and we had to get up something like that, or a waterfall or something like that that's easy enough to walk up but it's too slippy to safely do so, I would give everybody a prusik knot, and I would either tie it into themselves, or in a primitive sense they would hold on like this. Sorry guys, rope's not tied in very well. But basically then all they need to do is just feed it up, and they can just keep going. I wouldn't recommend rappelling with this because of the friction. You'd have to go incredibly slow, it's not viable. But this, in theory, you could clip it to yourself, to tie yourself in, and essentially, you know, in theory you could bring yourself down, but like I say, it's not very safe. If you don't have a locking carabiner but you have rope that's good enough to use, then check out our video on how to abseil or rappel without any gear and just the rope. Okay guys, so that's it. So that was the munter hitch, that was also the carabiner wrap. There are other methods of doing this that we might get into at another point, but keeping it super simple, there's only 2 knots that you need really, and that's these 2. So stay tuned for more on rope work, rigging ropes, rope skills. You know, I really enjoy making these videos. As a rock climber of 11 years, you know, this stuff has been life and death at times for me. It's, you know, if you can avoid rappelling or abseiling, please do. You know, it's not always safe. People die all the time doing this. Get some professional instruction. This is, you know, put this video on the back burner in your mind, you know, learn the skills, but if you're going to try these out, try and get a professional climber to go through it with you, because these are bread and butter skills that any seasoned climber will know. So yeah, just be safe guys. Anyway, please do subscribe, please like this video. It really helps get the message out there of what I'm trying to spread, which is, you know, helping people survive and just learning some cool skills really. Thanks for watching, until next time.